What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yes, I am MLB Chatterbox, aka Christian Corey. And you see the title and the thumbnail in today's video. It might be a shocker to you. And but it's all true. It's all facts. It was quite disturbing what the young Taylor Trammell said in this the San Diego Padres. The young outfielder, only 22 years old, the tender age of 22, Taylor Trammell, and some disturbing comments, in my opinion at least, of what he said about baseball. And it's only a couple words. It's only a couple words. And those words are, baseball isn't black enough. Yeah. Taylor Trammell said that. Or Trammell, whatever. Taylor Trammell said baseball isn't black enough. Let that sink in. Baseball isn't black enough. Really? Are you kidding me? You have got to be bleeping me with that disgusting comment.
You gotta be bleeping me! What in the hell are you doing?
Are you kidding me? Baseball isn't black enough. Now, I know where he's trying to go with this. But first of all, when you haven't even made the Major League Baseball club yet, and you're still in Double-A, why are you even commenting on anything? I get you have your own opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. But, there has to have some, you gotta have some credit. You gotta earn some respect first before you go out and say things like this. You haven't earned respect by anybody because you're not in the major leagues. You're probably on the alternate training site trying to just get by. I know he's a very good prospect. I know he's just not a nobody. I know he's pretty good. I think he played in the Futures game in San Diego. In fact, I think he might have hit a home run there, if I'm not mistaken, back in 2000 and, 16 they had the All-Star game there? But, what he said was just so wrong, so disturbing, so fake, and so untrue about baseball. It's not black enough. First of all, I ain't about to tell you how black it is. It's really black, actually. I'm not saying that to be fun. I'm saying it because it's facts. And you know what? I agree with him in this respect. Today, the game today, there is not a lot of black people or black guys in baseball. There isn't. There just isn't. And not even just Major League Baseball, just playing baseball in general. In Little League, in high school, in college, there's not a lot. There's few and far between. I 110% get that side of it. For me, I played baseball almost 17 years. And never made a high school team, but I tried out every year. And every time I tried out for high school, there was one black kid who tried out in high school. One. Mind you, I went to Dakota High School, the biggest high school in Michigan. One of the biggest high schools in Michigan when it comes to students, the amount of students there. And they were from all different backgrounds, races, colors, creeds. It was a public school. You had black kids, you had white kids, you had Indian kids, you had German kids. I mean, you had people of all races. It was a true melting pot in that high school. And one kid, tried out for baseball. And to tell you the truth, there was probably at least 100 to almost 150 kids who tried out for baseball. Total. And that's for freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, whatever. One kid tried out for baseball. One black kid tried out for baseball. And what happened? He made the team. Okay, he made the team. And yeah, maybe it is true. Maybe baseball's not popular in the black community. I don't know. Probably not. I mean, I know some black friends, they don't like baseball. not as much as they like basketball or football or sports like that. For whatever reason, they just don't like it. And to me, it's like, if you're black, why wouldn't you like baseball? Why wouldn't you like baseball? Baseball has produced one of the most influential people in baseball history and in American history. You know, obviously, it's Jackie Robinson, but there's others besides Jackie Robinson. There's Satchel Paige. There's Hank Aaron. There's Barry Bonds, regardless of what you think of him. There's Bob Gibson, a pitcher. There's Ken Griffey Jr. And these guys, you know, weren't just okay. They were good. They were Hall of Famers, Hall of Fame caliber for some of them. Barry Bonds. So the fact that he says that it's not black enough, I mean, you got a little a wire that went out upstairs or something. Something's not clicking. Because if you can't see that baseball, you know, is black enough, not that it's enough, but it is black in general. There's a lot of great players in baseball who are and were black. Tons of them. I mean, again, the top four, in my mind, Jackie Robinson, I guess, is number one because he's number 42. Everybody knows Jackie Robinson. You can be from Europe and you know who Jackie Robinson is, to tell you the truth. Hank Aaron, Hammer and Hank, Barry Bonds, Bob Gibson, Ken Griffey Jr., Tony Gwynn. You know, to me, it's like the fact that he said that, it cannot be more untrue. And first of all, why in the bleep would you say that about your employer? This is the sport that you're making money off of. This is your income. This is your employer. Yeah, you're an athlete, but this is your job. Got it? It's your job. This is your job. And the fact that he has a nerve to say it's not black enough cannot be more untrue. More untrue. You know what this is? Taylor Trammell. Do you know what this is? Do you even know the name of this team? I want to see you know it. You probably don't, because you probably don't care. This is the hat of the Detroit Metro Stars, the local Negro Leagues team. A local Negro Leagues team. This is what it is. And I had this hat. I've worn it on some of the videos, I think. This hat's pretty cool. I like this hat. That's why I got the hat. I'm a hat guy. I love hats. Why am I wearing this hat? Because of Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron, number 44, is the real number one in home runs. First of all, let me just say your accomplishments of some of these black players. You know, let's look at some of the accomplishments of just some of the black players that I named off. Yes, I named them off, but I didn't tell you their accomplishments. Okay, first of all, Jackie Robinson. We all know who Jackie Robinson is, right? First black man to break the color barrier in baseball. And he's a pretty good player. He's a Hall of Famer, 6-time All-Star, MVP, Rookie of the Year, 1955 World Series champion, batting title. He played 10 years. Now, I think he could have played a little bit longer, but he didn't because he, of course, didn't want to move to Los Angeles when the Dodgers moved to Los Angeles out of Brooklyn because he did not want to leave the East Coast. And he wanted to help out in civil rights issues with Martin Luther King and so on and so forth. So he chose not to go. Which, in a way, hey, that's up to him. Do I think he's a Hall of Famer based off the numbers? I think he could be on the fence, to be quite honest. You know, he's never had 3,000 hits, never eclipsed 20 home runs in a season. He has a career batting average of .311, which isn't that bad. But there are some things about Jackie Robinson that you know, it could be on the fence for me. But he's a Hall of Famer, and we'll get into that a different time. Second guy, Hank Aaron. Hammer and Hank. Beautiful Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron. First of all, guys, he is the home run king, and he's black. He's not white. He's black. He's the home run king. Regardless, in my opinion, he's the home run king. I don't care about Barry Bonds right now. We're not talking about Barry Bonds. We're talking about Hank Aaron. Played with the Braves throughout his whole career, 23 years with the Braves in Milwaukee and Atlanta. And you know what? In 1966, the Braves moved to Atlanta. And to tell you the truth, I'm sure moving to Atlanta wasn't, the ideal place for him to play. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't the safest place there in the Deep South, because I'm sure people didn't like Hank Aaron, not because of how he played, just because of who he is, and because he's black. Because there's no doubt about it that, the South back then was a different time, and it still probably is in some areas. But for the most part, the South was not welcoming to black people, especially when they are excelling in life. And he did it. He excelled. He was not only strong, physically, he was strong, had to be strong mentally. Spiritually, I'm sure he was strong. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, when you have, career 755 home runs for your career, which my opinion, that is the record. I think Barry Bonds is a steroid user. I don't like steroid users. That's a different a discussion for a different time. But 755 home runs, that's pretty damn good. And that's great. That is, you are it. Number 44 is and will always be number 1. And he's a black man, by the way, if you haven't noticed. So there's another black man who's, had major accomplishments in baseball. Bob Gibson. You don't think black people pitch? Well, there's a lot of great pitchers, and here's one of them. Bob Gibson. The whole stereotype, the notion that only white people can pitch. I call BS on that one. There's Bob Gibson right here. Let's see. What's his career? Well, he had 251 career wins. That's pretty good for a start. He had 23 wins in 1970. He was a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. He was an MVP, which for a pitcher was pretty darn good back then. 9-time All-Star. 9-time Gold Glove as a pitcher. He's an ERA title, holds an ERA title. 2-time World Series MVP. MVP. Not just won the World Series, which he did, in fact, twice. World Series MVP. I mean, he struck out, what was it, I forgot what game it was, in 1968. He struck out, 17 Tigers. I believe it was 17. 17 Detroit Tigers in a World Series game. I think that's still a record. 17 strikeouts in a World Series game. 17 Tigers he struck out. Yes, he lost that World Series in 7 games with the Tigers, which is actually pretty good, in my opinion. But point being is that I had to put it in there. But, he struck out 17 Tigers, and he's a black man. He's a pitcher in a World Series game. These are just some of their accomplishments. Ken Griffey Jr., one of the highest, I do believe he is the highest player to receive votes to get into the Hall of Fame. Third. He's third all time. I apologize. He's third all time. I remember he was first. He has 99.32% of the vote. Derek Jeter, also black, by the way. 99.74% of the vote this past year. And Mario Rivera, who's Spanish, 100% of the vote. So let's see. The top 3 guys are all guys of color, black and Spanish. Really? Wow. And guess what? They beat a white guy, Tom Seaver, just passed away. Rest in peace. They just beat Tom Seaver. Tom Seaver had 98. Ken Griffey had 99.32. Jeter had 99.74, and Mario Rivera is a hundo. So, just to let you know, Taylor Trammell, baseball is actually a pretty black sport. It is. Maybe not today, maybe not in the youth, but it is overall. They represent, black history better than any other sport. They have one number 42 is retired throughout all of baseball. Every white guy has to wear it. Every black guy wears it. Every Spanish guy wears it. Everybody wears it. And he's a black man. I don't see the NBA doing that. Do you see number 23? Do you see number 23 retired in all of basketball for Michael Jordan? I don't. He's black. I don't. Do you see LeBron James' number retired? I don't. The fact that he would say this about his employer, you know, is truly disgusting to me. I mean, to me, it's like he's saying it was never black. It was never black enough. What sport honors black people in the African American community better than baseball? Negro leagues. We celebrate them. They weren't even in the major leagues technically. We don't even have to do that. But you know why we do that? Why? Because baseball has class. Baseball recognizes their wrongs and they fix it. Unlike other sports who don't. NFL, NBA, NHL. Seriously. You could not have been a better sport to represent your heritage. And you know, here's one. Let's get off of race for a second. Let's go to religion. Anybody heard of Hank Greenberg? Detroit Tigers. Number 7, number 5. I think it was mostly number 5 for the Tigers. Number 5. The great number 5. Hank Greenberg. Started his career in 1930. Was out for the season 1932. Came back in 1933. He had 58 home runs in 1938. He almost was going to be the home run king. He almost beat Babe Ruth's record. 1938. 58 home runs. Almost had 60. 2 away from 60. Tying and potentially breaking his record. 2-time MVP. 5-time All-Star. 2-time World Series champion. And he's a Hall of Famer. You know what? He's Jewish. Do you see, you know, baseball retiring his number in all of baseball? No. And by the way, he wasn't just looked at another white guy when he played in between 1930 and 1947. He was looked at as a Jew, a Jesus killer. People heckled him like you could not believe. And baseball doesn't recognize him. Baseball basically forgets about him. And I think it's a shame that they do because they want to talk about inclusion. You know, sometimes people don't just discriminate against your race. Sometimes they discriminate against your religion. Now, I know maybe it wasn't as bad, but it still was something. It's total crap than what he said. Total untrueness, a fake comment from, quite frankly, not a very good baseball player. Not a very good baseball player. Let's see you do it. Let's see you do this. Let's see you go out there and break Hank Aaron's home run record. Let's see you go out there and break Hank Aaron's. You know what? I don't want to hear you say you're going to do this. I want to see you do this. Talk is cheap. You know? I mean, seriously. Let's see you. Are you going out to your community and preaching the game of baseball? I bet not. And if you are, obviously you're not doing a very good job. You're not living up to your own standards. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Here's something to think about. Don't get motivated by what hasn't happened. Get motivated by what has happened. Because obviously, Taylor Trammell is getting motivated by what hasn't happened, but he's not looking at what has happened. Look at the good side. Look at what baseball is doing, not what they're quote-unquote not doing. Shameful. Absolutely shame. This is just what ticks me off. Is that he says stuff like this, because then he's going to make it whole, and you know, I'm tired of politics in baseball, and sports in general. I'm so tired of it. I turn on the TV to watch baseball, not to hear about what you think about it. I look at you, I turn on the TV for you to entertain me. I am the paying customer. I am. Not you. I am. I'm the paying customer. All right, guys. Like, subscribe, comment down below what you think. I'll catch you guys later. 44 is the real number 1.